Yo, what's up, everybody? Jez7780 with another What Grinds My Gears. I'm gonna do a quick one, a quickie. What's up, guys? How you doing? Chat's in there. Gruda Legends #1. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, Sam Ash? Darkside. Eddie T. Yo, yo, yo. As you can see, doing some interaction stuff on Twitter. We know what's going on. Phil Spencer got the mic again, and you know it's just, whew. Kotaku article. We're gonna just go through it and some of the stuff in there. But you know, the biggest thing that I've been hearing since E3 is about the consoles don't matter. It's not the business. It's been the phrase that's been coming out of the Microsoft camp for some time now, that consoles are not the business. It's not about how many consoles you sold. It's about showing up to the race, I guess, and just finishing the race. It doesn't matter if you win or not. It just matters that you're there. So we're talking Olympics now. You know, the fact that you just make the Olympics, but do you win a gold medal? It doesn't matter. The fact that you're at the Olympics, I guess. But you want to know what? It's spoken by a true company that just has not found success this generation in the consoles, and I think that's where it is. It's not this revelation about consoles and not the business, because then if that's the case, then Nintendo and Sony should be in the gutter right now, right? They should be like scrapping up like whatever they can. They should be doomed, you know, since consoles are not the business. It's about selling software and services. But we're going to get into that real quick, and we're going to go through this Phil Spencer article. And, yeah, we're going to go through this thing right now. Let me get my thing up. What's up, Sam Ash? Yep. It's always been the business. Like, yeah, it's always been the business. Like, that's the thing. And we're going to do some correlations as to there's companies that sell hardware and services. Hardware and services. There are companies that do that. I'm going to get out my tweet here, just let everybody know that I'm live, and we're going to go through this Phil Spencer article. And there's ways of doing this, and we'll get into that. So here, I'm going to show my desktop. Let's see if this thing works here. And you guys should see. Make sure it is working. Yep, there it is. So here's the article. So Stephen Totilo did this interview with Phil Spencer. Let me do. Hold on. I do control. Oops, I did that. There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna do full screen there. So Phil Spencer did this interview, and here's the transcript. So a couple of things on there. Steve Totilo came in there with a target. His big question was going to be Gears of War on PlayStation 4. That's like the thing that he kept drilling Phil Spencer about in this article, and we'll get into that. And sorry I can't see the chat right this second. I'll jump onto it quickly, but I just wanted to get a couple of points in here, then I'll jump back into it. So first he wants to talk about the platform level, like, you know, the whole thing, you know, with this radical terms and how he's running the platform. And, you know, I thought that if PlayStation was doing what you guys are doing last year, God of War would have come out day and date on PS4 and PC. And he says, right, I wouldn't have necessarily had paid $60 for it. I could have just have gotten as part of subscription a lot of games. And at some point in the future, without even needing a PlayStation. And Phil Spencer was like, yeah. So I'm curious how you see this vision. Does Xbox even need to have a box long term? And he goes, we use this tagline internally. This is what he's been saying for a long time now. This is not a surprise. This is just be very clear. I'm not surprised. Just explaining the strategy and where I think it might go. Play the games you want with the people you want, and we say on the devices you want, which is to think about as anywhere. We're driven to that. We actually think 2 billion gamers on the planet, the size of the business of the gaming is today. Again, shout out to the person who announced that there's 2 billion gamers on the planet and missed everybody. But we all know where that's going, right?
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
So
I'm
that's where
trying
he's
to
going.
use the phone!
So this is the scenario. This is number one. I came to comment on this thing. It drives me crazy. I'm a parent, and we live in the same neighborhood, and we have kids. And you go to Best Buy and you buy an Xbox. And the other family goes and buys a PlayStation. Our kids want to play Minecraft together, and they can't. And I think overall, as a gaming industry, how does that grow gaming? It's changing. It's not just us. We've made great inroads with Nintendo. And that's when it started putting our first-party games on Xbox and PC. First off, Minecraft together. He seems to always use Minecraft. Then just keep in mind, Minecraft was everywhere when Microsoft bought it. Okay? Bought it. Microsoft did not make a game and put it everywhere, and it grew, and it's a darling of the industry, and you know, it was amazing that Xbox or Phil Spencer and company made a game, and it just transcended, sort of like what Epic did with Fortnite. Like, Microsoft just made this game from their own internal studios, and it grew, and it went all multi-platform. Microsoft has not done this with their own games, okay? They bought Minecraft when it was everywhere. They are basically just paying the electricity bill and giving those people lunch. Like, that's basically what they're doing. Like, Minecraft was already everywhere. It was the internet darling. It was on everything. People thought that when Microsoft bought it, they were going to pull it from the competitors. Which they probably should have, but they didn't. They kept it everywhere. But they use it always as this example. And it's like, you didn't do anything to put it where it was. You did not publish this game for Nintendo. You did not publish this game. It was already there. You just took the Mojang's name and put your name in front of it. So this is not something that you built, that you had this vision and you did this yourself. You didn't do this with any one of your games at all. You just bought Minecraft when it was everywhere. Okay? So I don't know why they just think that like every game's going to be Minecraft. But to answer this scenario question, that is the reason why you make Xbox the platform, the service, so the parents in the neighborhood go buy that one Xbox. It's called competition. Now, if people are buying a PlayStation, you shouldn't say, oh, but my kids want to play together. No, you should be like, why did that parent buy PlayStation? What is the reasoning why that parent buy PlayStation? Are we not competing at a certain level? Is that parent want something else for their children that we don't offer? Why is that other family buying a PlayStation? We need to address that with Xbox and make sure that when they go into Best Buy, they know that Xbox is the best and they all buy an Xbox and all join on services so everybody can play together. That's how you approach it as a competitor. You don't sit back and whine, oh, they bought the blue, I bought the green, but they can't play together. So the green is just going to give up and say, guess what? You could play together now. That's conceding. That is basically waving the white flag, you're done. Instead, you should be going, interview that neighborhood and go, well, why did they buy a PlayStation? What does PlayStation have more than us? Well, you know what, they do this. Oh, well, we need to learn how to do that on an Xbox. Like, that's what you should figure out why they bought it. Not the fact that they bought it and you can't play with each other. And then he goes like this. He goes, and he says this finesse. Like, we got this finesse going like this. You're reducing to, and he does this all the time. He basically just kind of just says his thing. Like, he basically just says the question before the question's asked to him. He's like, you're reducing the need to buy an Xbox. And he goes, I find in reality, and this one, I find in reality that people play on console because they enjoy playing on a television with a couch, on a couch with a controller in their hands. Oh, you see that? Do you see that? You see that? A console, they play a console with a controller in their hands. Oh, that's right, Phil. Console players don't want a keyboard and mouse. They want to sit back and play with a controller in their hands. That's what the console player wants. Right? Right? Yeah, right. Right? Yeah, I figured that. And let's see that wonderful support that we have is 2019 June. Oh, so where's the demand for this if that's in reality people play on a console because they enjoy playing on a television on the couch with a controller in their hands? Okay. So that $250 accessory, a big deal about keyboard and mouse support coming. Okay. So, but in reality, so you are acknowledging here that there is no demand for keyboard and mouse like on console. Like, so you just throwing shit against the wall? There was no vision. Maybe that's why we only have 12 games that support the keyboard and mouse. Good job. Nice waste of time, because I remember that announcement was what, 2 years in the making, 1 year in the making, wasting everybody's time. And this is my problem with the whole thing. Why it grinds my gears is that they waste time talking about things that nobody cares about. You wasted our time talking about keyboard and mouse support when you know in reality there is no real demand for keyboard and mouse support on a console. They sit back on their couch with a controller. All right? So this is the waste of time. Waste of time. And then here he goes. So you make enough money doing what you're doing. This is a business. This is a business. The business is selling software and services. The business is not how many consoles you sell. And this is straight from him. This is not fan interpretation. This is not NeoGAF. This is from him. Who's selling more consoles at any one time has the root of how somebody's doing. You have other companies, and the reason why he has to explain it like that, because I bet you to investors, they're not selling the best. And when they go to investors, they go, well, our console is like third and 40 million, where the competition is like at 100 million. The investors are like, well, how are you successful? And they're like, but it's not about the consoles, investors. It's not about the consoles. It's about the 60 million subscribers on Xbox Live. They don't say who's paying and who's not paying. But this is not the thing that you say when you're trying to announce another console coming out next generation. Okay? You don't say that it's not about, like, our business is selling software and services. Then why are you making a console? Like, why are you doing research and development if it's at a loss? If that's not the business of selling the consoles. And then the big question, will you put Gears of War 4 on the PlayStation 4? And he goes he doesn't really answer the question. But it sounds like, if it was tied by Xbox Live is the lifeblood. Minecraft with Xbox Live is the lifeblood. Like, if they allow us to put Xbox Live on PlayStation, or like tap into our servers on the PlayStation, then we will put Gears there. And Totillo basically says it in his comments down here. He says right here, he never directly answers the question, Gears of War 4 on question. This is him commenting. He goes, but I suspect the answer was yes, if it connects to Xbox Live. I get the impression he doesn't care what silicon the game runs on, as long as the game's connecting to Live, paying a subscription. Because you got to understand, as much as he says gaming everywhere, everybody should be playing games and all that other stuff, games, he's still giving you that sly connection. In fact, that he still wants you on Xbox Live, because trust me, for a person to just boot up God of War and play, or boot up Minecraft offline, or play a game somewhere else on another platform without tying into Live, without tying into any of their publishing games, that gamer is not a profit. That game's not a business for them. So him saying, I don't care where you play, he cares where you play as long as you're connected to his Xbox Live. So it's still a business. So this is not kumbaya, Phil wants to give us stuff for free. He's being a sly snake oil salesman in the fact that he's basically trying to say, like, I don't care where you play, but as long as you're tapped into our network, our Skynet, I don't care. So I think it's up to Sony really to say, hey, we'll allow Xbox Live like Nintendo allowed Minecraft to tap into Xbox Live. If Sony allows that, he has no problem putting his games there. Okay? So that's what I'm going to talk about. Now I'm going back to the guys here. I'm sure you guys have been chatting away. I'm back to the chat. Okay. So that's really what it is with the Gears 4. So he does not deny that Gears 4 might go there, or Gears 5 or whatever hell, as long as you could tap into Xbox Live. And the thing is that there's two problems that's going on with this thing. One is that when you're trying to sell a console, you're trying to get people to stay on a console or buy and invest in another console. This is not a $50 thing. This is a $400, $500 investment. You don't say that that's not the business, okay? Because I said, think about WWDC, the Apple conference. If Apple had their representatives come out on stage, or what's the main guy, the Cook, Tim Cook comes out on stage at WWDC, or whatever the Apple event is, and goes, everybody in the crowd, he goes, I don't care, I don't care about selling iPhones and iPads. Tim Cook, yeah. He comes out and goes, I don't care about selling iPhones. That's not the business, is selling iPhones and iPads. It's about, using our app store. I don't think Apple would do that. Because you know what that would do? That would definitely take a lot of wind out of the room and hype for the next iPhone, the next iPad. Instead, what Apple does is the opposite. They take little features that they add to the phones and go, we listen to you. We added a touch screen. We added a fingerprint in the screen. Oh my God, the most amazing thing ever. And they take these little incremental updates to their hardware and make it like it's the most amazing thing. They make you got to go out and get this hardware. Even if it's an incremental update to the hardware. They present their hardware as if it's like you are missing out if you don't buy our next iPhone. Or you don't buy it. We've refined the camera. We've put 3 cameras in the back. We did this. He comes out there and sells the hardware. Even though it's about App Store downloads, he don't come out there and say it. Phil Spencer has 40 or so million people sitting on a console telling us that's not the business. Okay? Apple runs hardware and software. Obviously, selling phones is important, but it's really the software. It's the royalties they get from the integration of software, iCloud, all that other stuff. What's up, Karen? How you doing, man? It's all that stuff. Yeah. But that's how you balance a hardware and software. And that's where I have the biggest challenge with this whole thing, is that I don't understand why Phil makes it, he denounces the console, denounces the hardware, and promotes software and services. I don't. Oh, Wound Up Penguin. Sorry, man. I didn't see you, man. I was on the screen share. But I don't understand why he denounces the console, diminishes, that's not the business. Software and services is the business. I don't understand why he doesn't see a world where both of them could be successful. Google is all software, right? All software. No, they're not. They make their own hardware. They got their Pixel hardware. They got their Pixel book. And they got their own Chromecast. All right? And what does Google do? Does Google tell you to go buy a Samsung? No. Instead, what Google does, it gives perks to the Pixel. Guess what? Your Pixel gets all the updates first. Oh, these wonderful features? Our Pixel gets it first. It'll roll out to the other Samsung. Even though Samsung is number 1 seller of the cell phones. Google don't care. Google's nope. That 3D overlay AR when you're walking around, yeah, that's coming to Pixels first. Oh, Stadia, that's going to work first on Pixels. Google makes their hardware, as much as they're a software company, makes their hardware relevant, makes their hardware get perks. What does Xbox do? Oh, you are on the Xbox console? You're the only one that pays for Xbox Live. Oh, that don't sound like a perk. You own our hardware. You should get benefits. You get Xbox Game Pass. Oh, no, you don't. Xbox PC Game Pass. Oh, okay. You get games just for your console first. No, you don't get that either. So what advantage and what perks do you get by owning Xbox hardware? Microsoft and Phil Spencer have taken it all away. That's right. Sick, that's right. That's what he's saying. Consoles don't matter. It's software and services. But the thing is that there is a world where consoles and services could be successful. You don't have to denounce the console to promote the service. And that's what he does. Apple does it. They make their hardware and their software work in tandem. Google does it with their Pixel lineup. They don't denounce, oh, don't buy the Pixel. iPads and iPhones are not the business, guys. They're not the business. No, instead what they do is they give perks. They give you benefits. Amazon Fire TV. Guess what? 4K HDR on the Fire TV. You could use that app, but that app on a Roku doesn't give you 4K HDR. It's 4K HDR support. There's special perks for owning the software. Prime Video's 4K HDR, right? On the Fire Stick, on the Fire TV. Google does not have YouTube native app on Amazon Fire TV. YouTube TV is not on the Fire Stick, the Fire TV. Hulu TV, live TV, is not on PlayStation. You got the Hulu app, but you can't watch live TV because it competes with PlayStation View. Everybody, PlayStation View, for the longest time, had 3 screens you could watch live streams at one time. They just added it to Apple TV. But it was exclusive on the PlayStation 1. Like, everybody has their perks. All right? And everybody's trying to sell hardware and software. A lot of people are. But for some reason, Phil just seems to take this install base of console owners that they have and just keeps diminishing them and not giving them what they want, ignoring the core audience, while they satisfy these 2 billion imaginary gamers out there.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And that's exactly. It seems like they are making statements that they don't want to make the console hardware anymore. Just like what PlayStation Plus Podcast 6 says. They don't. It seems like from reading that article, it just seems like somebody that's like, yeah, like, you know, why you like? I would just ask, well, why you still make consoles? Why? If that's not the business, if it's a losing business, it's about software and services, why? And that's another reason why, because people have heard a 2 years and saw what he did with the X. Like, that Scarlett announcement at E3 really didn't resonate with a lot of people. It didn't. It was just like a Me Too. Like, oh, well, we got hardware too coming. And even that messaging has already been confusing because of the leaks of Lockhart and Anaconda and 2 SKUs going into next generation. Even that already has been nixed and been confusing. And they didn't even do anything. It's because they're so silent. It's because they are so contradicting. Like, oh, I find that in reality, the console player just wants to sit back, play on a couch with a controller. Announcing keyboard and mouse support for Xbox. Oh, and a $250 Xbox keyboard and mouse. Why are you wasting our time with that? Oh, it's an option. But you admit yourself that there's no demand for that. So why would you tease Inside Xbox? Why would you tease PC console exclusive games that use a keyboard and mouse and then admit that the console owner doesn't even they want to sit back on a couch with a controller? What's up, Meds? How you doing, man? Yeah, Game Pass on PC. That was a perk. Like, gone. It's on PC now. Like, what perk do you get by owning the Xbox console? What? What perk? He has taken every perk away that you get owning a console. And actually, you pay more. No, you don't, Coon. You don't need live with PC Game Pass. It is all for free. You could chat, screenshot, share, party up on your cell phone, on your PC, on your Switch. You could do it all for free. There are no more perks for owning an Xbox. You get to deal with that weak-ass dashboard and that friggin' community tab that they got to put a fire to it. That community tab is trash. It is useless. You look at that community tab, it's big screenshots and quotes. It's dumb. And you just got to get through it to get to the store. That Mixer tab, the Mixer tab should be an app on your screen. It should not be a tab on your dashboard. But that community app got to go. And now there's already fragmentation. I got to say, that PC store thing looks awesome on the PC. Great. It is a console-like experience with that app on the PC. What is it? They call it the Xbox Beta. That's what it's called. It's called Xbox, the friggin' app. Let's see. I just want to see something. Yeah. So yeah, you want to see something? Look at this. You want to see where all their energy's going? I'll show you where the energy's going. You want to know what Xbox is? Here's Xbox. Here it is. Nice app. Look how clean this is. This is where all their energy is going. Here's your games lined up. And then you got your friends list. Your friends list. And then the store. Which is it's community because this is the Windows 10 store, but the Xbox version of the Windows 10 store. And look, you think that people just hate on these games? Look at the state of the case ratings. It's 3 stars. I don't know why Forza got 3 stars. Like, I don't think people have that much energy to come in here and give reviews for these things. Like, these games are not that good. Here's Arc Extinction. Now, 2.5 stars. Forza Legos, 3 stars. The content that they're releasing is not very appealing. Yeah, here's all their Xbox Live games. Let's go see them. Let's see the why does Metro have 2.5 stars for Windows? Let's see. You want to see why? 2.2 stars. Why? Can't play the game because it can't log me into Xbox Live. There's no way around it. Where do I even start? On top of the Windows Store installation process being needlessly complicated, where do I install the game and forcing UWP app on the entire system? The save option's grayed out in the menu. Right now, there are some bugs. Here's how to fix them. To save, use the menu, F5. Change resolution. Like, the shit that they're throwing at everything stinks. This is what I mean. They're throwing stuff at the wall. Why is Wolfenstein 2? This is a great game. Game and all settings look fine, but again, Windows games do not seem to have full screen option. This is important to many people, especially G-Sync users. G-String users, call them. Super Hot, an amazing game. Why does it have 2 stars, Microsoft? This seems to be an awful expensive way to be spammed by Xbox Live sign-in errors, but hey, thanks to the link to Xbox One troubleshooting, shame I'm on PC. Biggest shame is I wasted money. Aren't we past the point where it's okay to ship garbage like this? This game doesn't blank 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 work. Error code. I also should have read the reviews, but this is another instance of buying a game on Windows 10 that's legitimately unplayable. Gunscape, Infinite Warfare, Quantum Break, and Super Hot VR all have bugs apparently never been fixed because Microsoft, alongside developers, doesn't care about the platform. This one warrants a review, though. Disgraceful product. Do you see this stuff? This is Game Pass for PC. Right? These are all the games in Game Pass for PC. Hellblade, hopefully this works. All right, that game seems to work. Good. But these are not anything about the game. It's about the technical problems that Microsoft has with their delivery of PC. State of Decay 2. I love this game, but it won't let me. Yeah. We could go on and on and on about the challenges with these ones. How's Sunset work? Sunset got good rating. Yeah. I mean, that was put on Steam before. I don't know. There's some good games in there. Whoa, what happened to Football Manager? Wow, impossible to change logos or fix play. This was the big announcement at E3. The Windows Store version is incredibly locked down. Bricked my Windows trying to mod the game. I have Xbox Game Pass for PC. Wanted to give it a try. Can't believe this is a 2019 game. Terrible everything. Horror, loading time, graphics, everything. This was a big E3 announcement. Football Manager. See, this is the thing. It's about quantity and not quality. They are earning a disrespect from the gamers. What happened to Rome? Will not launch. They have earned a disrespect. Gears Ultimate runs great. That's right. I'm back to the chat, guys. But they have earned a disrespect. They have put themselves in such a hole that their level of respect from the gamers has diminished. And you say consoles are not the business. I can't believe how many people that I've seen just like, next generation, I don't know if I'm buying an Xbox. I'm probably just going to do a PC. Or like, I'm going to try buying some PlayStation games now. Like, that is not the message that you want to send from E3 and from your interviews. E3 there should be like a wave of growth after E3. It's the biggest sales pitch in the world. Or in the United States. Like, E3 is the stage, remember? It is, right? It's the biggest. 2 weeks ago, E3 was the biggest show in town, and all the people saying E3 is irrelevant were criticized, saying that you are just being a fanboy because Sony's not there. E3 is relevant. And then E3 comes and goes, and they're like, well, next E3 is going to be relevant. Like, E3, I'm holding everybody accountable. E3 is relevant. Sony should have been there. And if Sony was there, it would have been a stomp out if they just showed a couple of the games that they have lined up that we know about. I don't even know about what we don't know about. But Sony should have been there. They shouldn't have abandoned E3, and I'm expecting something from them. But Microsoft, this is the biggest stage in the world. This is the biggest stage on E3. Phil said it himself. This is when everybody listens to you. You come above the news because this is what's going on. Gaming becomes common speak because big outlets are covering E3 that typically don't cover gaming. This is your exposure to the 2 billion people. And after E3, you got more people just pissed and leaving and just saying, I'm done. I'm not investing in this anymore. I'm not investing in the next platform. Scarlet search items were a complete low. Like, it wasn't. Keanu Reeves had more search hits than fucking Project Scarlet. And we're supposed to be gamers. It's because they failed at E3. They failed miserably at E3. And you look at Nintendo delivering what the fans want. Look at Square Enix delivering what the fans want. There is a world where you meet the demands of your core audience, but you also spread your wings and go to a larger audience. You do not cannibalize. If you're going to lose people, you rather lose the casual audience and keep your core than to piss off the core audience and depend on the casual audience. That's what Nintendo did with the Wii. Nintendo made everything wiggle waggle, right? Everybody's like, the grandmas are buying it. My mom's mother-in-law's sister's cousin's roommate bought it. I saw people who didn't even know what a video game system was having it under their TV.
And may the Schwartz be
I'm like, what? Nintendo has transcended pop culture. But what happened? Those Switches, those Wiis just stayed under those TVs because the casual audience had Wii Sports and called it a day. There was nobody buying libraries of Wii games and stuff like that. And then Nintendo tried to get them back with the Wii U. They tried to get back the core audience with the Wii U. They didn't have any kind of... They're like, well, here are the games, sorry, we added all this wiggle waggle all over the place. Because Nintendo bet on casuals. And yeah, they sold a lot, but it wasn't sustainable, and it became a fad. And then the Wii U tried to get back the core audience by giving people those games they want. And they still couldn't do it because that tablet thing was still kind of wingy-wongy. Just wiggle. It was just not what people wanted. And that's another talk for another time. When everybody thought, remember in 2013 how consoles are dead and everybody's going to be playing on iPhones and tablets are the rage. Remember all that? Jiggamoro? Remember all that?
Come on, don't bullshit me.
And then Sony just blew the gates off and like, yo, consoles matter. Remember, everybody wanted tablets. There was smart glass. Microsoft was in bed with smart glass. And everybody's like, well, they're playing. Everybody has an iPad on their lap when they watch TV. So that's what everybody wants to do. Consoles are dead. They just want to play on their iPads on their lap. Uh-huh. Well, that's why the Wii U bet on a tablet. Like, oh, yeah, well, there's a tablet in front of your TV, right? Nope. I remember Wii Play was like on the top one game sales for like, I think 7 months or to a year. Because Wii Play came with another controller. I remember it was on MPDs. But Wii Sports was incredible. It was a market right for the casual. But again, Nintendo lost their way. They realized that the casual market, they'll give you a lot of numbers, give you big numbers, but they're not going to give you sustainability. And they dropped off real quick. They were not buying all those games. So they had to get back their core audience. And what did they do? Switch, Zelda, Mario in the fall, Pokemon, Metroid canceled but coming out, in the futures. What are they doing? They're hitting right now on the Switch all the games, the bangers. Mario Kart, even if they're Wii U regurgitations, as Frogs always is pissed off about that. Shout out to Frogs. That this stuff was Wii U games that they just updated for the Wii, but they took the cream of the crop of the Wii U and just ported it to the Switch. Boom, boom, boom. Core games, Smash Brothers, core games. Remember how long it took Smash Brothers to come out on the Wii U? They got that shit. The second year. It's like, boom. Smash Brothers. Get it. Go. And they keep coming. And now they're getting even hardcore games. They're even getting mature games to the Switch. They're going after the core audience. Because the 2 billion people out there, the casuals, they're casual for a reason. They play different types of games. They have different types of thoughts. They don't live and breed gaming. Instead, they'll game when they're on the toilet. Like, you know what I mean? They're not doing that. That's why you always focus on your console, your core. And then you expand because your core is the safety net. If that whole 2 billion gamer thing fails, you always come back home and got your 50, 60, 80, 100 million console people sitting there just ready to buy your next product. But you don't diminish and take away from that core audience and make other people get what you've been paying for and have that core audience feel devalued, unappreciated, not being listened to. and moves like Banjo on the Switch. That's bullshit. Microsoft should have known that will piss off Xbox core owners, and they should have had a Banjo game being developed at the same time they announced that. But they didn't. Instead, they just leave the Xbox people to sit there and be pissed off and watch Nintendo people ooh and ah scream and say we did it. That's why Phil Ness approach, it drives me insane. It triggers me to do this stuff because it is the ultimate slap in the face to anybody who invested and paid for Xbox and been with Xbox for so long. It is the ultimate kick in the nuts. And that's why I get on here and say this stuff, because it really bothers me. It makes me feel like I was a fool because I did not sign up for this. And I could guarantee you every green logo that is on Twitter and on the YouTube did not sign up for this. Everybody who bought an Xbox thought it was going to be a console to compete. Everybody did. Nobody bought that Xbox going, well, the games are going on PC, gaming for everybody. Here's $400, Best Buy. No. That's why you're seeing so many people second guess their next Xbox purchase, because Phil has demonetized that console. I'm telling you, nobody signed up for this. The people that I lined up with at Best Buy for the Xbox One, for the Xbox One S, those people were not signed up for what Phil's talking about. Because you would second guess your purchase. That's the thing. If you like it, if this is like, oh, you know what, this is not bad, that's fine. But don't make it look like that this is, this is what's been going on all this. I knew about this. This is, I signed up for this. You did not. Did not sign up for this. Because I know. I was all Xbox. I was all of it. I was in those chats. I was in those party chats. I was with everybody. Everybody just seems to just be changing, very malleable, because they believe in Phil. They believe in these characters. It's like believing in Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, that they're real. These guys are just people in costumes. That's what they are. It's Microsoft's way of putting a face to a product. And they give a crap more about the personalities because they know that these personalities are what you're buying into. Because the shit that they're selling stinks.
Cool. This coffee smells like shit.
It is shit, Austin.
Oh, good, then it's not just me. It's a bit nutty.
Yeah, it is a bit nutty. And that's why I have this little channel, and I appreciate the support from you, everybody, because I feel like there are people out there that feel the same way. And I'm not going to stop doing it because we need more people to just tell him, even if he's going to block you, I am not happy with this direction. This is not the vision that I wanted. There's a way to sell a service and to reach more gamers, but not at the cost of your fan base. The people that are loyal to you. That's what you don't do that. You know, it's like people who use their fans to get famous and all of a sudden they just abandon their best friends and go with the fame. How many movies have we seen of that? And then what happens? When the fame runs out, they come crawling back home. And their friends are like, yo, you abandoned us when you got famous. Should we accept you back? So while he goes pokes around for 2 billion people for phones...
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone.
I'm
so we
trying
thought about how
to
can we get
use
as
the
many...
phone!
This is it. This is my theme song for them. It is a circus. They want to play on controllers on consoles. Well, we'll just give them keyboards and mouse. What? Why? They want exclusives. Well, we'll just make exclusives for PC. Why? We'll just put our games everywhere. It's not about selling consoles. Then why make a console? If it's about software and services, then just invest in software and services and put your shit everywhere. I love in that interview, he goes, and this is talk about Phil Ness, like talk about like just like somebody just acting stupid. He basically goes like this. He goes, yeah, this is what he says. He goes, so today people are saying, quote, "Are you going third party?" Whatever that means. That's what he said. Like, whatever that means. Like, you don't know what third party is, Phil. And then he goes and says that, like, oh, we're the biggest third-party publishing platform on the Switch. Because of Minecraft. Dude, do we have to repeat this again? You didn't make Minecraft. It was already everywhere when you bought it. That's like me buying McDonald's and going, I'm glad McDonald's is everywhere. But you didn't do anything for McDonald's. You just basically just bought the name. That's all you did. The thing is that they're sacrificing their core for the masses. And what's going to happen is that mass market, when they go put Halo and Gears 5 on a cell phone, those people are not going to play it. They may try it out. And then when he realizes that, you know, Johnny, Timmy, Sue, Fran, and all those other, the grandmas and the grandpas don't want to play your games, they're going to say, we heard you. We're making games just for scholar. Like, we're going to come back. Or they'll just back out entirely. But whatever 40 million or so that they have right now, they're pissing off a lot of people. And more people are just like saying, like, this is not a disappointment. This is not a mass exodus, but this is definitely an exodus. Like, this is like, you are chasing people away from your product. You're not just disappointing them. You are telling them that you are not important to the business, but still buy our shit. You are having people just get up and leave. Sell their Xboxes. Just say, you know what? Just give me Game Pass for $1. You're worth $1 to me, Phil. Your company is worth your games are worth $1. They have devalued their IP and their business so much that people are just saying, like, it's $1. It's $1. Like, just play it. It's $1. Like, that's the and he also says in that interview, it's like, it's about how many people play your games and how many people are on your games. It's like, dude, do you understand what you're saying? If you're making games that nobody wants to play, ask Crackdown 3. How's that business? I guess that's a failed business because nobody's playing Crackdown 3 multiplayer. You can't find the game. And it is in the umbrella of Game Pass. And the last point I'm going to leave you guys with, and I appreciate you guys staying in there. Staying here with me. Game Pass is the catch-all. Game Pass is the fail-safe. It's the safety net. Because he cares more about how many people are playing their game. If they have 2 or 3 million subscribers to Game Pass, there is no demand for quality, for completeness, because they're not trying to make a bang and release a banger, a big hit. Instead, they're just going to just put it in there just to keep those people subscribed. It doesn't matter the type of game, the quality, because guess what? There's so many different types of games. They don't care. It is a failsafe. It is a dumping ground. And they don't need to make the most amazing game on day one and get those million sales on day one. They don't have to do that with Game Pass. This is the damage that has happened because of them putting all their first party in Game Pass. Their games do not have to be a banger on day one. They don't need to be complete. They don't need to be. They just need to be put into a subscription that has 3 million people in it. Woo! 3 million people could potentially play this game. It doesn't matter how much it sells. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's complete. It doesn't matter if it gets a 6.0. Who cares? It doesn't matter because it's just being added to the rest of the stuff that's in there. It's like going to a buffet and all of a sudden they come out with chicken fingers. It's like, people gonna go crazy? It's like, well, you know what? There's all this food and you just threw some chicken fingers in there. Doesn't matter if the chicken fingers are cold or hot. It's like, nah, no matter. There's all this food here. What does it matter? But if you go to a restaurant that just serves chicken and they come out the chicken fingers, you better be sure that those chicken fingers are hot and ready to go and taste great. Like a Nintendo or a Sony that's gonna release a game, boom. But when you just have this smorgasbord of all this random ass food that's in Game Pass, what does it matter the quality that you keep putting in there? Quality is not a question. It's about quantity. It's them saying we put 5 games in there this month. Well, what kind of games, Phil? Minesweep and Solitaire and Oogie Boogie Boogie indie game. Like, all right, well, who gives a shit? Just like, and if you don't believe it, if you ask Phil where the games are, he told you we just put 60 games on stage at E3. Are we talking about games from E3, from Xbox Conference? Are we so excited about 60 games? 14 Game Studio games? Like, every podcast, every tweet that I see, nobody's even bringing up shit. At all. To him, it's just a number. 60 games we did. Woohoo! 60 games. But Phil, those 60 games are forgettable. What does it matter? Oh, but there's 60 games. Okay.
We're really focusing first on what it means to play these games on your phone. So we thought about how can we get as many people playing on a phone as possible.
You bastards! You piece of... Ain't nobody got time for that! Bastards! Ain't nobody got time for that! And I come to squeeze! Ain't nobody got time for that!
You want to spend the rest of your life with your head up your ass? Be my guest.
It's all about quantity. And again, it's not about the quality of the console experience. It's about the quantity of how many people are playing, how many people are looking or are signing in. That's it. It's not about the quality. But you know who cares about quality? The consumer cares about quality. The consumer cares about quality. And you see what the consumers are saying. Game Pass for $1. It's a no-brainer. They're not saying what a deal. They're just like, oh, I guess I'll just pay $1 for Game Pass. This is not the Xbox we signed up for. It's not. And that's why I say when I play on PC, Phil Spencer put me here. He put me here because he took away everything that I looked at that Xbox console and looked at it and said, what is your purpose here? What is your purpose? He took everything away and he gave others free stuff. I'm nobody's fool. And that's how Grinds My Gears started. Because I'm not a fool. You're not going to give the services for free and expect me to pay money. No way. And then on top of that, give us horrible games. Give games that were not polished. Games that were not made for the core. Games that had content missing. Crap. Look at you want to see quality? I just read you all the quality of their Windows 10 store and their Windows Xbox Game Pass. Look at the quality. Don't work. This don't work. It's a crapshoot. That's why they are, and this is what grinds me again. A lot of grinds. Is that they're wasting our time with these announcements and the false hype, the cloud. They already lost the cloud. Google's already left the stadium. They got games, they got a lineup, they got price, they got hardware. Done. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, so. I appreciate it. This is how I feel. Google already got their lineup done. Microsoft's like, well, xCloud. It's remote play. What? The hell are you talking about? They already lost. They already stumbled. Google already got clear vision. Boom, 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 boom. Done. PlayStation Now is already out there with 700 games streaming to devices. All they got to do is flip a switch and say, yeah, put it on an iPhone, put it on Android phones. Done. 700 games. Go. Generations. Microsoft's still like, well, what's going to work? You could do remote play. Yeah. Like, don't you realize your competition has had that for the whole generation? They even allow you to stream your game to a friend, and they could play and remote play together with share play. They even have better features with streaming, not just taking it to my Vita or taking it to a phone, but actually streaming my video to a friend who could control for me, or we could play a 2-player game that's not online over the internet through streaming. This has been done since day one. Well, for me, 2 years ago. But for PlayStation 4, it's been day one. Okay? So you don't go to the biggest stage ever and announce remote play. And you know what? Geico, you're right. The thing is that there, and this is my other thing. There are people that are genuinely excited about the Xbox console. They're still going to buy it no matter what. You know what? Fine. That's fine. If you have 500 games and just going to buy it in the next gen and just keep along the ride, fine. But you can't deny that with every statement and every move that they're making, the only reason that you're staying is because of the library and really nothing else. And you're actually paying more than what other people are paying for. You'll keep your library. But if you keep looking at what he's saying, it even looks like your library, your games might even just go to the other platforms. And like I said, Sony's going to roll into next generation with over 100 million consoles. And if they hit fire with the PlayStation 5, which I think is going to be a slow burn, because I don't think people are just going to jump to PlayStation 5. They're going to ride out the PlayStation 4 and just slowly migrate over there. Xbox and Microsoft cannot sit there and deny 150 million or whatever consoles. Did the stream go down, guys? Can you hear me? I think it went down and came back up again. Can you hear me again? Because I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. Yep, it still says it's working. Can you guys hear me? Testing. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Testing. All right, I'm back on. All right, yeah, it went down for a second. But, you take your library with you, and that's fine, you can take your library with you, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. My thing is that this whole thing that he's saying and everything that they've been going on, and all of them, all those executives over there. Thank you. It's just that they are giving people less and less reasons to own the console. And obviously, it's not their business, so they don't care. And that's fine. But riddle me this. Then how do you expect to continue to... Why are you investing in R&D and into the next consoles? Is it because you need those Xbox Live subscribers to keep paying? Because I don't see that thing going free anytime soon. So, I guess that's the only reason why they're doing these consoles is to keep Xbox, because they're the only people paying for Xbox Live. That's the only reason I could think of if it's not the business. And I'm saying that it's not how many consoles you sell. Well, you want to know what? That would be true if Nintendo and Sony were like at 20 million after 4 years and they were struggling selling consoles. Console sales were at an all-time low. But Nintendo and Sony are seeing the biggest console sales, especially Sony, they have ever seen before. Nintendo's growth is almost analogous to the Wii U, but they're doing it with the Wii, but they're doing it with games. They're not doing it with fads. They're not doing it with wiggle control, waggle. Nintendo is growing the Switch with games, and I respect them for that. That's the thing. Nintendo is doing it with the games. The games that the people want to play. Yeah, you can play it on the go and play it on the console. Yes, it's the weakest console, but you know what? They're the only place to get those games. And Nintendo's doing their growth with the games. That's why they're getting all this third-party support that they could never get. And Sony is almost going to sell 100 million consoles. And it was about them making it a gaming machine first. Making it about games. Even if the beginning of their generation, it was about indies. When indies were the darling of the industry, Sony embraced that. They got the Call of Duty. They got Destiny. They got games that people wanted to play. They bought themselves time while their exclusives were trickling out, and now they hit a stride. Microsoft, unfortunately, launched the Xbox One with great games, or decent games at least. But instead, they sold the box as a TV entertainment device. And people bought that just to put under their TV to watch cable and yell at their TV and use Xbox control, but it had great games. The messaging was all messed up. The messaging was about entertainment. Not the whole thing why it was called One was because it was the one place for your entertainment, games, and media and all that stuff. Their messaging was not focused on games. That's why Phil's like, we heard you. The console should be based off of games. That's wonderful, Phil. And I think that's the only thing that the guy has done is that he did make it about games. The problem is that he made it about games for everyone and not games for the core. He went too far with the word games. He didn't earn back the core with some really big budget games and big deals and getting exclusives or doing anything. He didn't do that. Instead, he took the word games and to him it meant Panda Pop. It meant Crossfire X, 700 and 650 million people. Smilegate. Who? That's what it meant to him. He went too far with games. He should have brought back the core first. Bring back the audience that you lost and then grow. Instead, you're chasing after people, 2 billion people, because I think the market's forcing them. I think Sony grew too much, and Nintendo's growing, and Amazon and Google already got their stuff. Like, they're already in it. Shadow of the Ghost of Gears Pop. What's up, man? And you know what? I don't mind Gears Pop. That's fine. That is a game that's made for a mobile device. Fine. With an IP, fine. Gears Tactics not being announced for Xbox, that's a problem. And taking games that people traditionally play on consoles and think that you throw it on a phone, or maybe with USB-C cables, maybe with 5G, maybe all over this place. The people, that's not the ideal way to play that game. Nobody's going to sit in front of their TV or even on a train. Your signal is varying. Like, that's not the ideal way to play. And him going, well, we're going to reach people on phones with this streaming thing. It's like, dude, it's a nice feature, but that is not the way to play those games. If you're going to make games specific for that kind of experience, then fine. But if you're just going to take the console game and throw it on a phone, I don't think that's the right way to go. The other thing is if you look at the reviews of I saw some reviews on people playing Halo Reach on PC. They go, it's a 9-year-old console game on PC. They're not redoing the hitboxes from the update that they played. So the hitboxes feel sluggish, they said, not tuned for a keyboard and mouse, and the field of view is locked at 90 degrees. Like, You can't just take a console game and dump it on PC and think that's growth. And Phil Spencer's like clapping hands like, we did it. No, man. PC gamers have an expectation. They're not the same person. The console, PC, and mobile persons, they have certain expectations on their platforms. You can't just take a console game and dump it on PC and say it's going to be success. You can't do that. You need to have certain features, certain tweaks. You got to make sure it works. Not just that it works, but you got to make sure that it meets those expectations of those platform holders. A console owner's expectation is totally different than a PC's expectation. They want to make sure it supports G-Sync, widescreen monitors, mods, field of view. I could turn this off. Can I do this? Can I do that? Can I do that? A console owner just wants to play the game and let it go and make sure it works. A mobile owner is going to have to factor in, aim assist and stuff because they don't have an accurate input. There are different expectations. It's not the same gamer. And they don't get that, and they will get that soon. And actually, they already get it. Because now that Windows 10 store failed. So now they're putting their games on. They're like, yo, guys, we couldn't win with the Windows 10 store. Now let's throw more shit at the wall. Somebody gave me a new piece of shit. Let's throw this. Let's put it on Steam now. That's where they want to play. If those games don't work on Steam, they're going to hear it. And it's going to get 2 stars on Steam, too. And when people see 2 stars on Steam and hear all the complaints, it doesn't work, it's not optimized for this, it doesn't do this, guess what? The game's going to fail there too. You couldn't get it to work on the Windows 10 store. UWP was a failure. More games for Xbox, I was told. Oh, UWP is going to put more games on Xbox. Did it? No. It put less games on Xbox. Oh, they ported over. PC Games ported over in a night, put on Xbox. What game? Who? That was 3 years ago. 3 years! 3 years ago! We're not talking, this is just a 2-month drought. 3 years! So to say to wait till next year, okay, come on. We're going to do this soon for half a decade. Put that in perspective. Who could keep fans by not delivering to fans for 5 years? Almost 4 or 5 years not delivering to their core audience. Who could sustain that base? Who? Less and less, and you see it. You visually see it on Twitter, on social media. You see the digression. You see people moving. You see people stating their unhappiness with where they're going and what they're bringing. And it's not just like that they're going for 2 billion. I don't care. But don't go for 2 billion people and forget about where you came from. Forget about the people who built your brand up. Forget about the people who dye their hair green, who bleed green, who have Xbox pajamas. And play those Halo 2s and Halo 3s and Gears 1 and Gears 2 and Fables and Rare replay games and hoping that Rare would be something. Like, those people that believed in you. Where you came from. You never forget where you came from. And you came from the console. Because without the console, there would be no Xbox. And I'll leave you with that, grinders. I want to thank everybody for coming out. Have a good day. Follow, share, do whatever you want, boys and grinders. I am out. Jez7780 on Twitter. Grinds My Gears, Jez7780 on YouTube. I'm out, guys. Thank you very much.